first responders and military. Could you now join us in a salute to the flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The notice of this meeting pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act, NJSA 10:4-10, has been complied with and shall be entered into the minutes of this meeting. Participants on this call will have the ability to speak during the public portions of this meeting. Members of the public must press *9 to virtually raise their hand to speak. When your hand is raised, you will be placed in the queue or virtual line to speak during the public portion. The moderator will ask participants with raised hands to unmute themselves. When this happens, the phone operator will instruct the participants to press *6 to unmute themselves. You will know when you have been unmuted and it is time to speak when you hear the operator say you are unmuted. When a participant either yields their time or told their allocated 5 minutes are up, they'll be placed on mute by the moderator.
Madam Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Freeholder Armwood.
Here.
Freeholder Ascona Barber.
Here.
Freeholder Kenny.
Here.
Freeholder Koppel. Freeholder Koppel.
Here.
Freeholder Nara.
Here.
Freeholder Tamaro.
Here.
Freeholder Director Rios.
Okay, minutes for approval.
Board of Chosen Freeholders regular meeting, September 17th, 2020 at 7:00 p.m.
Can we have a motion?
Motion to approve the minutes.
Can we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Could you please call the roll?
Freeholder Ascona Barber.
Yes.
Freeholder Kenny.
Present, not voting.
Freeholder Koppel.
Yes.
Freeholder Nara.
Yes.
Freeholder Tamaro.
Yes.
Freeholder Deputy Director Armwood.
Yes. Ordinances for public hearing and final adoption. Madam Clerk?
Notice of this public hearing was published in the Home News Tribune on September 23rd, 2020. This public hearing was authorized at a meeting of the Board of Chosen Freeholders held on September 17th, 2020.
The clerk will read ordinance number 455.
Bond Ordinance 455, refunding bond ordinance of the County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey, providing for the refunding of certain outstanding general obligation bonds of the county to achieve net present value debt service savings, and authorizing the issuance of not to exceed $22,500,000 aggregate principal amount of general obligation refunding bonds of the county to effect such refunding and appropriating the proceeds therefore, and authorizing the public hearing to be held on Thursday, October 1st, 2020 at 7:00 p.m. and publication thereof.
I'd like to declare the public hearing open. Is there anyone wishing to speak?
Deputy Director, there are no hands raised to speak.
I move to close the public portion.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay. Can I get a motion to adopt ordinance number 455 on final reading?
So move.
Second.
Can we have a roll call?
Freeholder Ascona Barber.
Yes.
Freeholder Kenny.
Yes.
Freeholder Koppel.
Yes.
Freeholder Nara.
Yes.
Freeholder Tamaro.
Yes.
Freeholder Deputy Director Armwood.
Yes. Reports of freeholders. I will start. I'm pleased to report that the Department of Business Innovations, Education, and Opportunity continues to expand its virtual programs and services to county residents. This includes, but is not limited to, career services, virtual learning, arts, history, and culture programming, and its grassroots outreach to local small businesses in need of assistance during this pandemic. The Arts Institute of Middlesex County is cooperating with McFoods, and the public is invited to a trick-or-treat event via a drive-through experience at the East Jersey Old Town Village from Wednesday, October 28th through Monday, November 1st from 10 to 4 p.m. daily. In exchange for a goodie bag packed with candy and other fun activities, we are asking visitors to donate canned goods, dry goods, or monetary donations to our county food banks. Visitors will also be invited to take a socially distant tour of the historic village. The Office of Career Opportunity is hosting a drive-through job fair on Thursday, October 15th, 2020, from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. in the parking lot of the Grand Marquis, 1550 Route 9 South in Old Bridge. The event will allow job seekers to pick up employment opportunity information packets with access to more than 75 employers. This drive-through job fair event is held in place of the in-person hiring events and will allow us to disseminate information about available jobs in multiple labor sectors. Businesses that have employment opportunities can call 732-745-2814 for more information and to participate. Finally, Extension Services will continue to host a successful webcast series, Are You Ready to Garden? It will be scheduled on Thursdays at 6:30 p.m. from October through November. To receive an invite to these weekly streams, email mastergardeners@co.middlesex.nj.us with Are You Ready as the subject. Please visit our county website for further information on this empowering virtual learning opportunity. The 4-H Youth Leadership Program will be hosting a virtual open house with different clubs highlighted each day for the week of October 4th to October 9th. The open house will give our county residents the opportunity to meet 4-H members and learn more about 4-H projects, shared activities, and how to join. The Rose for the Hungry Project have harvested to date over 7,500 pounds of produce that have been distributed to Elijah's Promise and McFoods. That concludes my report. Freeholder Clarabelle Escona Barber.
Thank you, Deputy Director. The Middlesex County Office of Aging and Disabled Services will host a disability discussions, state disability services in New Jersey. Virtual event on Wednesday, October 7th from 12 p.m. to 1:30 p.m. Additional information is available on the county webpage. The 2020 Middlesex County Conference on Mental Health and Addiction Recovery was presented as a live virtual event on September 22nd. Freeholder Director Rios' opening remarks were followed by several inspirational presentations on issues, including the pandemic and the economy and the impact on behavioral health. The Middlesex County campaign to end stigma developed a video. This is a face of mental illness and addiction. Was shared at the conference and can now be viewed on all county social media platforms. This video includes the many different cultures and languages in our diverse county. It promotes the message that mental illness and substance use disorder touches everyone and are treatable too, and recovery is possible. Also, I would like to remind everybody to fill out the census. We now have until October 5th. And that concludes my report, Deputy Director.
Thank you. Freeholder Charles Kenny.
Thank you, Deputy Director, but I'm good for tonight.
Thank you, Freeholder Kenny. Freeholder Leslie Koppel.
Thank you, Deputy Director. I'm happy to report that on September 9th, Standard & Poor's Global Rating once again affirmed to Middlesex County a AAA bond rating, the highest rating attainable. With this affirmation, the county will have maintained a AAA bond rating for an unprecedented 20th year in a row. It is estimated that during this 20-year period, the rating has saved taxpayers more than $43 million. These savings are realized by borrowing funds at lower interest rates. One of the many ways we use our AAA bond rating is to obtain further savings is by refinancing old bond ordinance, as we are doing tonight with refunding Ordinance 455. In keeping with the county's aggressive refinancing fiscal strategy, tonight we have adopted Ordinance 455, which is refunding of $22.5 million. The bond market conditions are favorable, and we have a window of opportunity in the next few months to take advantage of these conditions. Because of historically low interest rates, the county would gain sufficient savings to meet the state requirements to refund an existing funded ordinance. The projected savings total over $850,000. And that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Freeholder Koppel. Freeholder Santinaro.
Thank you, Deputy Director. The Division of Solid Waste Management and Environmental is conducting another paper shred event. This one will be on October 10th in Milltown at the American Legion Post, located at 4 JFK Drive. As usual, it will begin at 9 and end at noon. We will ask all residents to please stay in their car because of COVID. We have new protocols, and we ask that you leave whatever shred items you have in the trunk of your vehicle, the cab of your truck, or in the back seat. Do not get out of the vehicle. Our employees will take care of removing the items. And we also ask that all county residents who come to participate wear masks. Speaking of masks, I want to take an opportunity to once again thank all of the members of Public Safety and Health for the extraordinary work they've done throughout this pandemic. People from the different departments have been frontline workers, whether it's giving COVID tests, whether it's doing tracing, and all the other wonderful efforts they've made to keep our county residents safe. However, I will say that the state's RTA level has increased to 3 now. And I need to caution all the residents. While it seems like New Jersey is doing really well, we want to keep our state and our county healthy and continuing on a positive trajectory. So please remember, the governor's mandates are still that people need to wear masks indoors at any facilities that are now open. We need to maintain social distancing. While the common amount is to say 6 feet, I think experts clearly are saying now that it may require more than 6 feet. So I would just encourage all county residents, if you want more information on COVID preparation, COVID preventiveness, to please log on to the county website and read about the different COVID initiatives and protocols. And I encourage everyone to stay safe, and let's show how much we care about not just our families, but our friends and neighbors, and protect yourself and them. Thank you, Deputy Director. That concludes my report for tonight.
Excuse me, Deputy Director, this is Freeholder Koppel. I have another tidbit that I'd like to announce quickly.
Certainly.
Okay, there's a county auction. The County of Middlesex will be holding our annual online auction this month. The online auction will begin on Tuesday, October 13th, 2020 at 9 a.m. and will end on Tuesday, October 20th at 4 p.m. The items may be inspected on Tuesday, October 13th between 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. and Wednesday, October 14th between 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. The inspection sites are at the Road Department and Central Vehicle Complex, Route 130 and Apple Orchard Road, North Brunswick, New Jersey, for automobiles, trucks, buses, construction equipment, office machines, chairs, desks, and furniture. Printing equipment can be inspected at the Repographics Office, 703 Jersey Ave, New Brunswick. Interested parties must wear masks and adhere to social distancing when inspecting items. The online auction will be conducted at www.municibid.com. The items being sold are no longer required by the County of Middlesex. Thank you for your indulgence, Deputy Director.
No problem, Freeholder Koppel. Freeholder Charles Tamao.
Thank you, Deputy Director. One of the businesses that was affected tremendously during their shutdown and when it started in March was our indoor gymnasiums, indoor fitness centers. And I know Charlie Kenny was a huge part of making this happen. Now, our new fitness and exercise course is now open and ready for business at our beautiful William Warren Park on Florida Grove Road in Woodbridge. The course includes a 17-station outdoor circuit of various exercise equipment. Whether you need a stationary bicycle, an elliptical, trainer for cardio workout, sit-up bench or a pull-up bar for strength training, or a cargo climber and a high stepper for agility, it can all be found at Warren Park. Please check with your doctor before beginning any new exercise regimen and stay healthy this fall with a new fitness circuit. Equipment is cleaned and sanitized daily, but please protect yourself by bringing hand sanitizer and wipes for use during your workout. And the best part about it is free. So please take advantage of this. This is at our Warren Park off of Florida Grove Road in Woodbridge. Our Plays in the Park. Next up is Sunday Plays in the Park reading series is a potent piece entitled Forever Mom, written by Edison native and Plays in the Park alum Megan Hochi. Folks can tune in to our Plays in the Park Facebook page on Sunday, October 11th at 1 p.m. and watch the play reading. Sign language interpretation and captioning services are provided also. As always, please continue to visit our Parks and Recreation page on our website for updated information on our parks. Thank you, Deputy Director.
Thank you, Freeholder Tamaro. Okay, Mr. Counselor, are there any resolutions to be added?
There are none.
Any resolutions to be amended?
There are none.
Any resolutions to be held?
There are none.
Are there any resolutions to be voided?
There are none.
Thank you, Mr. Counselor. I would like to thank all those joining us on this call tonight for your attendance. Before we begin the first public portion, I would like to state that we will utilize advanced capabilities in technology to conduct this meeting. In order to keep decorum of this meeting and allow those wishing to speak to do so uninterrupted, the following instructions, which the clerk of the board recited earlier, apply to this meeting. For those joining us on this call who have spoken in the past, please note that these instructions have changed due to changes in the technology being utilized. Participants on this call will have the ability to speak during the public portions of this meeting. Before participants can unmute themselves, they must press *9 to virtually raise their hand. When your hand is raised, you will be placed in the queue or virtual line to speak during the public portion. The moderator will ask participants with raised hands to unmute themselves. When this happens, the phone operator will instruct the participants to press *6 to unmute themselves. You will know when you have been unmuted and it is time to speak when you hear the operator say, "You are unmuted." When a participant either yields their time or are told their allocated 5 minutes are up, they will be placed on mute by the moderator. To recap those updates instructions, you must press *9 to raise your hand, then press *6 when the operator tells you to do so in order to speak during any of the public portions. So let's open the public discussion on resolutions listed only on the agenda. Only resolutions on the agenda. There will be a later portion for general discussion. This public portion is only for resolutions listed on the agenda. Do we have anyone?
Yes, Deputy Director, there is a hand raised. I will allow that person to speak now.
Okay, thank you. Could you please state your name and address, please?
So I have to do this for school. I'm in Monroe Township Middle School. So
Okay.
I just need one name of the one leader who is in this meeting.
Okay, can we get your name first?
Shubham Kumar.
Okay. And I would think probably the person biting at the bit is someone from your hometown who is a freeholder Koppel, Leslie Koppel. Would I be correct in saying that, freeholder Koppel?
Certainly. I'm sorry, what was the question?
She needs one
so-
person. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, sweet.
So I need like a lead, like one person who's like the freeholder in this meeting, like just the name.
And she's
Oh.
from Monroe.
So, of course, well, you already disclosed my name, Leslie Koppel, Koppel. And who's your teacher? Let me guess.
Miss Miel, Jennifer Miel.
Oh, excellent. Great.
Yeah.
Okay. You got her name?
Yes, I
Do you have
got it. Thank
any
you.
other questions?
No, thanks. Actually, I do have one. Is there any issues that are going to be discussed in this meeting?
There is an agenda that is online, so there's several different resolutions that we will be voting on. If you go to the Middlesex County website and go to the government and our meetings, you will see the agenda online.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
Thank you. How do I unmute?
No problem.
I mean, mute. How do I mute?
Our person who is in charge of all communications will soon mute you. Okay?
Okay.
Take care. It was nice to talk to you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Okay, take care. Is there anyone else wishing to speak?
Yes, Deputy Director, I will allow that participant to speak now.
Okay. Could you please state your name and address for the record, please?
Yes, good evening, Mr. Deputy Director. Charlie Cradaville, New Brunswick today.
Good evening, Mr. Cradaville.
Good evening. I wanted to ask about the resolution 20-1211, page 5. It looks to increase in the payment to Cultural Center Redevelopment Associates Urban Renewal LLC, which is the property tax exempt entity created by DevCo for the New Brunswick Performing Arts Center. And just wanted to see what justifies this, what's the cause for this increase in the payment.
Mr. Palomino?
Yes, this is, again, we made some enhancements to some of the flooring on our 3rd floor and so the 4th floor. As you know, that we put some upgrades in there, and those costs associated with the flooring as stated.
And so the increase is a increase of 113,000 and change, or 286,000 and change. It's hard to tell from the way this resolution's worded.
It's 113,000.
113,000, making for a total of 286.
That is correct.
Okay. Gosh, I understand that, you know, sometimes things don't go as planned and there's unexpected expenses, but that's, you know, doubling the cost of this particular line item. And I just wanted to see if the freeholders could provide any assurance that this would be the last payment related to this, or is DevCo going to keep coming back for more from the county taxpayers?
Earl, Deputy Director, again, any increase associated with this type of is really driven by us and not DevCo. We've made some changes, you know, over the last couple of years based on the usage of the facility. So it's not DevCo who's driving any increases. It would be the county requesting changes to the original footprint.
Thank you for that clarification, Mr. Palomino.
Yeah, thank you for that. I guess that's all I have to say on that resolution. You guys know how I feel about DevCo and their current plans for the Lincoln Annex School. And, you know, suffice to say, I'm going to continue to speak on that, and we'll speak to you later in the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Cradaville. Is there anyone else wishing to speak?
Deputy Director, there are no other hands raised at this point.
Move to close the public portion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Can we please have a roll call?
Freeholder Ascona Barber,
Yes.
Freeholder Kenny?
Excuse me, Deputy Director.
Yes.
I think we need to first determine whether or not anyone wishes to remove any resolution, and then I need to recite the motion.
I'm sorry. Are there any items well, we were closing the public portion.
Yeah, I didn't know you were doing a roll call for that.
Oh, I'm sorry. We could do a voice vote. I apologize. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay. Mr. Kelso, are there any items to be removed from the consent agenda and voted separately?
I believe there are none.
Okay. Can we get a motion on the
Yes,
consent?
Yes, Deputy Director, a motion would then be in order to adopt the consent agenda consisting of resolution numbers 20-1197 through resolution 20-1245.
Motion to adopt.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Can we have a roll call, please?
Freeholder Escona Barber?
Yes.
Freeholder Kenny?
Yes.
Freeholder Coppell?
Yes.
Freeholder Nara?
Yes.
Freeholder Tamaro?
Yes.
Freeholder Deputy Director Armwood?
Yes. Okay, one more statement regarding the public portion. Again, participants on this call will have the ability to speak during the public portion of this meeting. Before participants are able to unmute themselves, they must press *9 to virtually raise their hand. When your hand is raised, you will be placed in the queue or virtual line to speak during the public portion. The moderator will ask participants with raised hands to unmute themselves. When this happens, the phone operator will instruct the participant to press *6 to unmute themselves. You will know when you have been unmuted and it is time to speak when you hear the operator say, "You are unmuted." When a participant either yields their time or told their allocated 5 minutes are up, they will be placed on mute by the moderator. So to recap those updated instructions, you must press *9 to raise your hand, then *6 when the operator tells you to do so in order to speak during any of the public portions. Is there anyone wishing to speak during this public portion?
Yes, Deputy Director, I will allow the first individual to speak.
Thank you. Could you please state your name and address for the record, please? Hello, could you please state your name and address for the record, please? If you could please press *6 to unmute yourself. Hello?
Deputy Director, the individual is unmuted.
Hello?
Oh, hello?
Hi.
Yeah, I'm the same person who asked the question last time. So I
Okay,
have
could you
another.
just do me a favor? Could you just state your name again
Yeah,
for the record?
Shubham Kumar.
Okay.
I'm from Monroe Township Middle School.
Okay.
So you guys were talking about something with taxes. So is some issue with taxes? Can you please repeat that?
I don't remember specifically which question did you have, which resolution, because there were a couple.
I heard something about bail and taxes. That's all I heard.
Does anyone recall specifically the issue?
Deputy Director, the only two items I know that we talked about with money that I recall is the repurposing of the bond ordinance. It's saving us.
That one.
I think Freeholder Coppell could best describe that again.
Your hometown freeholder will answer.
So I'd be happy to. So basically, we refinanced a bond. We refunded it, and by refunding the bond, which was $22.5 million, we're able to borrow again at a lower interest rate. And because we meet the state requirements, the state looks at the rate that you currently have, and they make sure that that there's enough of a gain, that there's enough of a difference between what you're financed at and what your new rate is. And the projected savings from this refunding or this refinancing of the dollars is $850,000.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Are you gonna write a paper?
Yeah, so it's for a project.
Okay. We may have
Yeah.
to stop by and see that paper.
And you can email us too. You can email
okay.
directly from the website, and I'll be happy to
Okay.
send you my report.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Kumar.
Really appreciate it.
No problem. Good luck on your paper. Is there anyone else wishing to speak?
Yes, Deputy Director, I will allow the next participant to speak.
Okay. Could you please state your name and address for the record, please?
Hi, Susan Batista, Perth Amboy.
Hi, Ms. Batista.
Hi, I just wanted to make sure I was connected.
Okay.
I filed a notice of intent to file a tort claim against the county, the Freeholders, Middlesex County Board of Social Services, Catholic Charities, and ex-law individuals. The matter has been, is going to be taken up for investigation in Trenton. Now, do you publish, I was looking through the agendas to see if you published anything about legal cases that came up. My case.
Ma'am, we don't discuss any legal issues in public.
Mm-hmm. No? You're not supposed to put them on the agenda?
No, ma'am, not unless we're going in private session to discuss something. We would put a general statement, you understand? We put a general statement that we're going to discuss that, but as far as any particulars.
Okay. Yeah, because I know city agendas very well, but it's I didn't know your agenda.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, that's that. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Batista. Is there anyone else wishing to speak?
Yes, Deputy Director, I will allow the next individual to speak.
Okay. If you could please state your name and address for the record, please.
Yes.
And remember, you have
Charlie
5 minutes.
Cradaville, New Brunswick today. The last speaker brought up a point I actually would like to follow up on, the closed sessions. Have you been doing any closed sessions since the pandemic has put these new meetings in a different format?
No, we haven't, sir, because as you know, we would have to advertise that.
Okay, just checking. I do want to follow up on the issue I've been bringing up for a few meetings now with regard to the folks at the jail who are charged with crimes. Mr. Kelso said that they didn't have to release any more than they already had, but then he changed his course and has released this statement that says corrections officer was suspended without pay for 180 days for conduct unbecoming a public employee and other sufficient course. Quote, while off-duty officer was involved in a motor vehicle accident which resulted in the officer being charged with obstruction, hindering, and a DUI. Mr. Kelso has stated that this person is back to work, working in the jail. And I wanted to ask you, sir, and your colleagues, if you have any reaction to that or any comment on that. Are you okay with that?
Mr. Kelso?
I've already answered Mr. Cradaville's question. I think his question is whether or not you are satisfied with the result. Just so you understand that this individual, based upon those charges, was suspended without pay for a period of 180 days. In accordance with the New Jersey Administrative Code, Section 4A:2.2.4a, it's the maximum suspension that can be rendered under these circumstances without being able to extend it further. This individual is currently working, but he is still subject to further court proceedings.
follow-up question. Mr. Kelso, isn't it true that the punishment could have been termination?
I'm not, Charlie, what I'm not going to do is try to debate you on what's really a deliberative process. The protocol that's required is to indicate the final result and what the charges were. And based on that synopsis, which we did provide to you and is currently listed on the website, that's all the information that's required by the Attorney General. I don't think it's appropriate for the freeholders now to be asked whether or not they think that final determination was right or wrong, since it's a deliberative process in the discretion of the administration of the jail, primarily the warden.
Well, it is indeed a secret process, and one that I think good representatives would be willing to call out and say needs to be more transparent, proving incorrect some of the statements, and also, you know, an even bigger cause for concern is the second individual, for which no information's been released except what was said at the last freeholder meeting, that this person's been suspended for suspended without pay pending termination. And so, indeed, that is an option in these cases, and that's what the county's pushing for in this case. And we don't even know what the crimes are the person's accused of. We don't know their identity, and ultimately no information has been released to the public. And I wanted to ask you, Mr. Deputy Director, and your colleagues, if you're okay with that.
I'm okay with the legal advice that we've been given as far as how we should proceed, Mr. Cradaville.
Okay, well, I'll just point out that it was wrong before. I was saying you needed to release a synopsis. Kelso was saying the opposite. He was saying, you know, what we've released is already fine. And what's happened is both things turned out to be inaccurate. The summary report that was filed was actually inaccurate, and you guys acted like I was the crazy one when you guys had inaccurate information put out there. And then what happened was you put out the synopsis and you spelled 80 wrong, and you said 108 days instead of 180 days, and I corrected that for you, and you had to change that. So I think that, you know, you've taken bad advice so far from Mr. Kelso, and I think that you might want to change your ways and think about the people who are forced to be in this jail with, you know, in this case, somebody who's already.
Thank you. Is there any, I'm sorry, Freeholder Naro?
Yes, the only thing I want to correct is, and, you know, I'm saying this to Charlie, whose time is over, but anyone listening. I'm going to say one thing again. There are legal proceedings, and I come at this from two perspectives. One as a county freeholder, but also the fact that I am a public defender by profession. And I'm going to say this again. I said this like two weeks ago, and I'll say it again. I'm a firm believer that everybody deserves due process, whether they are a regular citizen or whether they're in uniform. I think that should be the fundamental principle that we maintain. We do that. We should be doing that in this country, and we should treat everyone the same. I understand there are a lot of individuals who don't get treated well, but in this county, we are going to maintain the perspective that everybody is given their full panoply of rights under the Constitution and under the system. So the reason I'm saying this is, it is my understanding that both these individuals are still going through their court processes. And while I understand people have issues with some people may have issues with the fact that they are in law enforcement and they are now facing criminal charges, I have to say that until their criminal cases are concluded, I think some of the interest in seeing them punished needs to be tempered, because were they not in uniform, they would be granted certain rights. Both of these men allegedly committed offenses outside the purview of their jobs, their positions with the correctional facility. That has to be taken into account. I understand people are concerned that there are certain current people incarcerated, and there may be officers who are working at that facility who are also facing charges. I understand that. That doesn't mean those officers have to have all of their due process rights removed. We have to proceed carefully. And should these individuals be convicted of any crimes, there are other avenues open, and we will look at those fully. But I think it's a bit premature to ask for these gentlemen to be punished to the full extent of our abilities if their cases are still open and there's still things being investigated. That's all. I reject the idea that because someone's in uniform, they don't get the same rights that are granted to everyone else. I also feel that because someone's in uniform, they should not be granted any extra rights that are not given to your average citizen. So that's the position. Charlie, you want to know how we feel. We are following the AG's guidelines. We are following our lawyer's advice. Are the mistakes made once in a while? They are. But I would certainly argue that there is not a conspiracy, and we are not trying to protect people from whatever the consequences of their actions may be. All right? That's all I'd like to say about it.
Thank you, Freeholder Nara. Is there anyone else wishing to speak this evening?
Deputy Director, there are no other hands raised.
Can I get a motion to close the public portion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Can I get a motion to adjourn?
Moved.
Can I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor, please say
Aye.
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 Any noes, any abstentions? Ladies and gentlemen, please have a good evening.
Thank you very much, Deputy
night.
Director.
Good night, everyone.
Good
Good night, everyone.
Goodbye.